Hello everyone, I'm Keen947, aka Wolfkeen, along with
Hey everybody, my name is White Noise 411.
4 White Noise 411.
Hey.
And we're back for another My Little Pony vlog. Today we are talking about Fall Weather Friends, written by Amy Kitten Rogers.
In case you're wondering why we're doing this vlog together, like this episode, we once had a rivalry ourselves as teenagers.
Pretty much, yeah. We used to go against each other in like a multitude of games, like Halo, Smash Bros, Mario Kart, you name it. We used to be big, big rivals against each other in these games. But that's a story for another time. Good subject for Wolfkeen Talks. And whatever. But anyways, the reason why I brought my friend in on this one is because of, Applejack and Rainbow Dash's relationship in this episode as competitors and stuff like that. Correlate to me and my friend here's competition towards each other when we were teenagers, and hell, even a little bit to today.
The episode begins basically when Applejack and Rainbow Dash enter a friendly competition of throwing horseshoes. Something, not too extreme and kind of, ordinary.
Pretty much. What happens though is that Rainbow Dash actually gets the closest to the spike. I mean, as you know, horseshoes you have to throw it to the closest of the spike or get a ringer. And unfortunately, they play in some friendly banter against each other, like, calling each other like friendly names and stuff like that, just smack talking each other. And then pretty much it ends with Applejack getting a ringer.
And of course, Rainbow Dash admitting to the fact that she does not like to lose. A trait we kind of both share in our rivalry in the past.
Yeah, but that was more a relation of me because I used to be like that. Like, I used to hate losing against him a lot, trust me. When I used to lose to him all the time in Smash Bros. Melee, I used to get upset.
Power to the link.
But basically what happens is that Rainbow Dash then challenges Applejack to this, what she calls Iron Pony competition, where it's basically a series of events to see who is the most athletic pony.
But in short, of all the competitions that basically they come across, it becomes clear that Rainbow Dash is clearly using her wings in some of the contests, and you have to kind of admit that it is kind of,
Pretty much they are neck and neck throughout the entire competition, but then Rainbow Dash begins to use her wings. And a lot of people say, oh, that's a physical ability that she has. No, that's considered cheating in many cases. I can understand it being a booster, but she's using it to cheat. Don't believe me? In the long jump competition, she used her wings to stop herself from hitting just short of Applejack's location to go over it and hit the further ahead.
Not to mention when they were having a tug-of-war.
So what happens is that Applejack calls Rainbow Dash out for cheating, and Rainbow Dash tries to play it off, saying like, oh, you didn't tell me I couldn't use my wings. Of course, Applejack plays I didn't think I needed to tell you to play fair.
And now there's a lot of speculation on who is actually correct. Well, to be honest, it was never mentioned that you couldn't use your wings, but, however, Rainbow Dash abused that ability.
She did, and over half the competition, she basically used her wings to help her win, which is why she won 15-5 at one point. And remember, she only started winning thanks to her wings. Well, actually winning the later competitions thanks to her wings, because she was keeping up.
That's right.
What happens next is that Applejack tells Rainbow Dash that they're going to go against each other again to prove that Rainbow Dash can beat her without her wings in this thing called the Running of the Leaves. Now, basically what the Running of the Leaves is, if you don't know, basically the ponies of Equestria run across this field to make the leaves come down. Similar to my winter wrap-up review, you would know that, Ponyville is a traditional town. They pretty much do all the weather changing themselves instead of using magic.
That's right. Kind of scary, isn't it? But it's what keeps their world in balance.
Well, at least their town, because remember, Canterlot uses magic.
That's true.
So what basically happens, during this entire time, Spike's being an announcer. Like, he's the announcer of the entire competition. And honestly, he does a pretty good job.
That is until the Racing of the Leaves starts and Pinkie Pie's actually the announcer and he's now the co-host.
I didn't mind this way because honestly, while Pinkie Pie's commentary made no sense half the time, it still felt like, it still kind of reminded me of JR and the King in WWE. I don't watch it anymore, but back in like the Attitude Era of wrestling, that's what it kind of reminded me of. Pinkie Pie and Spike were kind of like the King and JR in some cases.
That's a lot of episodes, bro.
And that was one of the reasons why I like their commentary in some cases, even though Pinkie Pie made no sense at times. What happened though is that Applejack reaffirms the idea of Rainbow Dash not being allowed to use her wings during this competition.
Mm-hmm. And so the race continues on until Applejack pretty much trips. And then she blames Rainbow Dash, but it is only until Twilight Sparkle actually points out to the fact that you basically tripped over a rock.
Yeah, that's the thing. Twilight's actually running, which she gets, mocked on by both Applejack and Rainbow Dash because as Rainbow Dash has called her on multiple occasions throughout nearly every season,
egghead.
Pretty much. Or as I like to call her every single time she read a book on something, nerd! So basically, sorry Josh Scorcher, we had to take that one for a second. Please
you
forgive
won't mind
us.
us using it for now.
Please forgive us. Don't blow us up. Alright, basically what happens is, one thing I forgot to mention is that to make sure Rainbow Dash doesn't fly, Applejack tied Rainbow's wings.
Don't even go there.
So basically, Applejack catches back up in the competition of the race, and then for some reason, Rainbow Dash trips, and you can pretty much tell the whole song and dance at this point.
Yep. And the same thing happens. Oh my f***ing God. I'm sorry for that unfortunate interruption, but let's continue. Oh my God.
And then people wonder why I have a cell phone on vibrate half the time.
Yeah.
No, but what happens is that after Rainbow Dash trips on a stump that Twilight brings out to her, Rainbow Dash thinks that Applejack is cheating on her. If I make a joke about that statement, I'm gonna hurt you. And basically, she begins to cheat against Applejack.
Which doesn't make sense at all.
I mean, I can understand competition getting stiff, but this is where they begin going against each other in multiple ways. The first thing Rainbow Dash does is grab a branch and smack Applejack in the face with it. Ow!
I mean, I could tell you that we had rivalries like that, but damn, we didn't take it that extreme to the point where we actually physically hurt each other.
We were punching each other playing Halo 2 at one point. What are you saying?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I hit you with a branch?
No, but you hit me in the freaking chest.
I hit you with a branch?
Nevertheless, we went physical, so it's not like we have much room to talk.
Okay. Point granted. Anyways, what Applejack does next is actually pretty impressive, but at the same time, it's still considered cheating. She actually used the branch as a slingshot to propel her to first place. Now, this is where I gotta say, even though that's cheating, that's still kind of smart. You gotta admit that.
Oh, she had the golden mushroom from Mario Kart.
Really? You really referencing that?
Yes.
Oh my God. Well, anyways, when Applejack struts forward and basically takes the lead.
What happens next, unfortunately, is that now she begins to cheat and she knocks over a beehive onto Rainbow Dash.
No. 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 Don't you even go there. No. 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 Ah, what the hell?
Oh, no, not the bees! Not the bees! Ah!
Sorry, guys. That joke had to have been done.
Yep.
But, what happens next is that after Rainbow Dash narrowly escapes the bees, she flips the sign that makes Applejack go in the entirely wrong direction.
That, and the thing I question is, how the hell is that sign so loose?
There's a single nail in it that's shown in the episode.
That still doesn't justify the fact of how it's so loose.
That they could spin it like a top.
Pretty much. I could tell somebody to go up, down, left, right. The hell? They probably won't know what the hell direction they're going.
If there was a sign pointing down, what the hell are you supposed to do?
Dig. Hey, I would.
All right. What happens next is that Applejack ends up at the end of the mountain, and pretty much Pinkie Pie and Spike are there, and Applejack puts two and two together and asks for a lift, and and this is cheating beyond belief. No matter how anyone says, this is cheating beyond belief. She has the balloon take her back in the first place.
This is where I kind of thought, yeah, Applejack took it to the max.
And I just love Rainbow Dash's statement like, what the heck? I thought you said no flying. And then she just says, nope, I said no wings. That doesn't help your situation.
That, and it doesn't justify the fact that you just made up for a lot of lost time.
I mean, what is this? Reset from Beetle Adventure Racing?
This isn't like Mario Kart, when you fall off the edge of the map and then respawn right there a little bit ahead of the players.
Exactly. So what happens next is that Applejack gains the lead, and she knocks over a bucket of tree sap, which causes Rainbow Dash to get stuck.
But unfortunately, her wing snap and the rope on her wing snap.
Not yet.
She gets slingshot thanks to the goo.
Yeah, like she tries to go forward in the goo, and then she ends up going backwards and then flying forward, like more like gliding. Because remember, she still can't use her wings; they're still tied. And she ends up bumping right into Applejack, causing her to spin like the Tasmanian devil.
Yep.
Which unfortunately causes this apple tornado to fly right into Rainbow Dash and then cause a rainbow tornado that goes right up a mountain and smashes into a rock face.
Where they land and the rock starts sliding and crumbling.
And pretty much Twilight gives out a line, but isn't the point of the running of the leaves running?
Coming from the egghead.
Exactly, and so they go back to racing each other, and they're back neck and neck again. And now they're starting to get even brutaler with their tactics. They're actually bumping each other at this point.
And biting off their tails.
Until finally, Applejack tries to bite Rainbow Dash's tail and actually grabs the rope and breaks it off of her. And Rainbow Dash at this point is like, all bets are off.
Yeah. And basically they all get into a bunch of commotion and yada 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 until they cross the finish line, only to find out that they won last place.
They were tied for last, only to find out that at first everyone thought, wait a minute, Twilight won? And she was like, no, I got 5th place. And that one I have to call a little bit of BS in some cases because she's never ran, she's not athletic, she only has certain research. Research is only going to get you far in any instance, no matter how good and no matter how much research you do.
The scientist theory. Written experimentation versus live exercise.
And of course, Applejack and Rainbow Dash realized that they weren't being very good sports to each other.
You think?
Exactly. They realized they weren't being very good sports, and of course they learned their lesson from not only Twilight, but Princess Celestia, who's for some reason is there.
Trolestia speaks.
And of course, the episode ends with them running through the forest again because not all the leaves were knocked down.
And will we see the winner of that race? Unfortunately not.
Yeah, just like Little Shy FIM said, the real sin of this episode is the unfortunate winner who will never get the credit that he/she deserves. I do like that. Yes, if you check out his videos, check out his Cinemare Sin videos. Those are really good.
Yeah.
But all in all, what do we think about this episode? I still like this episode as the reason I became a brony.
This episode is actually one of my favorites. Not like my #1 favorite, but very close. Very close.
The one reason I like this episode so much, like I keep saying, is that it reminds me of the competition I used to have with my friend here. And honestly, I get pretty heated in competition, especially against my clanmates and stuff like that.
Oh boy, does he.
Oh, you shut up.
Hey, I'm just proving a point.
But what makes this episode really good is the visuals. This episode has some really good visuals behind it, from the leaves falling to the different competitions that go around and other stuff like that. That's just some really good visuals. the moral is very good in many instances. Not letting competition get to you and always maintaining your friendship towards each other.
And as an artist, I have to say, this episode was actually very well done. Very well done.
This is why, like, this episode made me into a brony, and now you can see why this episode made me into a brony. Like, the relatable aspects, the great art style, the good visuals, and the great moral. This is the episode that made me into a brony, and I'm glad I saw this episode at one point.
Like my friend here, this episode was my second favorite, but it actually began my bronyhood.
Well, anyways, guys, not much else we could say at this point. We already said everything we had to about this video. So, White Noise, thank you for helping me with this video. And I will see you all for my next My Little Pony vlog episode, which I think the next episode is supposed to be suited for success. So, we'll have to see what I think about that one, because that was the first episode I watched. So, we'll see where this goes. So, until next time, guys, I'm Keen947, aka Wolfkeen, along with
White Noise 411.
And we'll see you all for the next My Little Pony vlog. So, until next time, take care.
I want my rematch.
Screw you.